Hi there, friends. My name is Inder Warich, and I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant. In Canada, you can only provide immigration advice either you're an attorney or a registered Canadian immigration consultant. Today we will be discussing about the three new visa categories, which the department will be taking applications from 6th of May. What is the eligibility criteria? What occupations and knock codes are covered in it? So, all of that. So, let's dig in deep and let's start seeing whether you will qualify under this visa category or not.
So department will be accepting application under all these three streams with effect May 6, 2021, and it will go all the way till November 5th, 2021, or all these applications have reached their quota, have reached their cap. So 20,000 applications for temporary workers in healthcare would be accepted. 30,000 will be for all those people working in essential occupation. 40,000 applications for international students who graduated from a Canadian institution. So quickly, let's just have a look at all these visa pathways one by one. So let's just talk about the first two pathways. So, which will be Stream A, 20,000 applications. This will be people who are working in healthcare. Stream B, 30,000 applications. Now, these will be, the essential workers. So, let's just quickly have a look at what occupations are covered under Stream A and Stream B. So, this will be Annexure A, health-related occupations. So, these will be all the nurses, dentists, doctors, pharmacists. That's a big list. Social workers. So, all of that. And then Annexure B would be eligible essential occupations, which will be cashiers, service station attendants, plumbers, carpenters. It's a big list. Taxi drivers, bus drivers, delivery and courier service drivers. So, what I'll do is I'll just leave the link to these occupations in the description below so that you can check your knock code. But it might get complicated if you have been working in, let's suppose, two, three, four different kinds of job titles or knock code. I would really advise that get a legal help in that case, because you don't want to get your knock code wrong on the application. All right, so let's just discuss about the conditions and the eligibility requirement to make a valid visa application under these categories. So, the point A says that you need to have at least 1 year of full time work experience. Part time is okay as far as it counts to 1,560 hours working in Canada in one of the occupations, what we discussed, Annexure A, or it could be B. But this experience needs to be in last 3 years just before your application is received by the department. So, another quick little difference between Stream A and B is that if you're applying under Stream A, which was the healthcare workers, you cannot combine your experience if you've ever worked in one of the occupations in Annexure B. But I see a bit of relaxation with people who would be applying in the Stream B. Even the quota is more for Stream B. That's 30,000 versus 20,000 in Stream A. You will be able to combine your experience. For example, if you've ever worked as a nurse in Canada and now you're working as a carpenter, you will be able to combine your experience. The next point, so what that says is you need to be employed in Canada in any occupation at the time your application is received by the department. And both of those occupations need to meet the definition of work under subsection 73.2. What that means is basically your work experience needs to be paid. So the next one talks about the language proficiency, which is CLB 4 in each of those modules. You need to be residing in Canada with a valid residency status. So it could be like on a work permit, any of those TR visas, you intend to live outside Quebec. G and H, they pretty much say that you will be using the forms provided by the department. They'll have set standards, how the application should be applied. You will be satisfying the officer with all the proofs wherever they are required. So, bring in all the documents. For example, if we talk about experience, you need to provide with employment letter, pay stubs, all of that. Last but not the least, it says the foreign national should be admissible. What that means is, I'll give you an example. So, if you want to apply for a PR in Canada, you need to be medically admissible. So, you would need to clear your medical exam. So, that's one example um, of how to be admissible in Canada. All right, so that's the third visa stream, which will be for applicants who have completed Canadian education. So they've studied in Canada. This would not require any kind of experience. So you may be eligible to apply under this stream if you've completed Canadian education. So let's just see what are the requirements to be eligible to apply under this visa stream. Just a quick reminder, always refer to the Government of Canada website. Third-party websites could be a bit questionable, so you're not too sure with the content on that. So always follow the Canadian Immigration Government website. Okay, getting back to the conditions and eligibility requirement for this visa stream, let's get on to the first and the most important point, which says a foreign national must have completed prior to the date on which the application for permanent residency is received and no earlier than 2017. So what that means is, you can have a look at your completion certificate. It would say a completion date on it, which cannot be earlier than 2017. So from 2017 till date, if the visa program is still open, you're good to go. Now, the next 3 points are for Quebec, so we're not going to cover these. And this point here says, the college where you studied from needs to be, under the law with the provincial as well as the federal. So what that means is, if you've studied from any of the designated learning institute, so you're good to go. Moving on to section B. So if you have been granted one of the following, so it will be associate degree, bachelor's degree, master's, or a doctorate, which must be a degree issued on completion of a program of at least 8 months in duration, you're good to go. Or the second point, in my opinion, is something which the Canadian government and the immigration is keeping COVID-19 in mind, keeping the shortages of the healthcare workers in mind. So it will be that if you have a degree, diploma, certificate, which on completion would lead to an occupation in skilled trade listed in Annexure A, you're good to go. So if you remember, Annexure A was leading to all the occupations with relation to healthcare workers. Now, the next one would be one or more of diploma, certificate, attestation where the following conditions were met. So it could be diploma, certificates, which will be minimum of 8 months in duration, and the combined length of your whole credentials, the study, would be equivalent or more than 2 years. So you're good to go. Okay, so next point is for the DVS and AVS. So we're not going to cover that today. So we will move to point C, which says have been authorized pursuant to acts and regulation to study throughout their education in Canada, which means you have a valid work permit while you were studying in Canada, and you were pursuant to all the acts and regulation. D says that be employed in Canada with a valid work permit or an authorization to work pursuant to act at the time of the application. So when you make this application, you need to be working, you need to be employed in Canada. E talks about the language proficiency, which is a benchmark 5 in each of your module, and it cannot be older than 2 years. So that has to be recent IELTS CELPIP, whatever you want to go for, but needs to be valid. So it needs to be less than 2 years. So the points F, G, H, I, J, they remain the same as the essential workers and healthcare worker, nothing changes. So these are some conditions for family members in Canada, and these are for the dependents or the family members who are staying abroad. Pretty straightforward, nothing fancy there. So let's just quickly see the definition of a family member. So that's defined in section 1.3. Make sure you're on the correct website, Government of Canada. Always make sure you're using the correct sources. And there we go. So that says the definition of a family member. So it could be a spouse or a common law partner. It could be a dependent child. It could be a dependent child of a dependent child. I know it's a little confusing, but in a nutshell, if you have your spouse overseas or if you have your kids overseas, so they could be a part of this application.
So yeah, this brings us to the end of this video. My take from the caps, which is 20,000 for the health workers and 30,000 for essential workers, might not be enough. So in my opinion, be prepared for the worst, gather all your documents, and just hope you do get selected under this category. So well, if you've enjoyed the video, do not forget to like and subscribe our channel. Also let us know which visa category you would like us to cover next. So this is Indavaraj from Yellow Line Immigration signing out. Peace.